I'm keeping that. Hey, this is Voice of God, and if you enjoy this show, think about going over to our YouTube channel, The Bad Decision Show, and subscribing and following us on Spotify. Our first guest today, our only guest today, the best guest today is Dominic DeLaney. I hope you enjoy the show.
This is the Rockenstein Music Hour, and I am your host, Parker Rockenstein. Today I'm going to be interviewing Dominic DeLaney.
Younger days were better, times in need, an excuse to be alive. Get in trouble at the record store, to spend the night on your bedroom floor.
He is one sexy motherfucker. Tell everybody what's up. Oh,
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I didn't know I was sexy. Thank you very much.
Well, with that mask on, it's just everybody looks sexy with just their eyes up.
Right? Exactly. Eyes up is the way to go.
Yeah.
The mask and the cap.
Yes, the master cap.
You just need some sunglasses, and you'll have the
Oh,
whole
dude,
like
I'm
celebrity
full.
incognito.
I'm incognito all the time. I love
Yeah.
it.
Like,
I
you don't
love
see
it.
the face, sexy. You see the face, not sexy.
Exactly.
you
Then
gotta
you guys
cover
can
that
run
mall.
away.
You look like Spider-Man's like first failed attempt at a costume.
This,
Yeah.
my dad actually got me. I guess like these are the masks they give teachers, maybe.
Yeah.
And like so, like it has like every county has a color, and so Palm Beach County is red.
So we're blood.
We're red. We're bloods.
we're
I
bloods.
represent.
I got a blue one though.
Does it say
Oh,
Palm
you're
Beach
crip.
County on it?
I think so.
Oh, now
Oh,
I'm
shit.
interested. I'm gonna
Oh,
have to.
shit.
I'm gonna have to ask him about what's going
See,
on
I
here.
like red personally myself. That is one of my favorite colors. It's very nice. It's very nice. Dominic, my man, my dudes. How's your 2021 going so far? I know it's only like their third day into it.
You know, Guitar Center has been pissing me off.
Well, why are they pissing? Well, they piss off a lot of people.
So I'm looking to get a new guitar. I'm pretty well known for having an Epiphone Hummingbird. That's my go-to guitar. But it's starting to get beat up. It's still a great guitar, but it's time for it to go to the backup role and to get a new one. And so I found an Epiphone Dove, which is the sister of the Hummingbird, and they had one in Alpine White. It's all white.
Oh, pretty.
Very pretty guitar. And so I've been looking at it for months. It was back ordered, and on January 1st, New Year's Day, it was back in stock. And so I order it. I'm super stoked. I'm running around the house. 6 hours later, I get an email that the order's canceled.
What?
Because the guitar isn't in stock.
Son of a bitch. Let me guess, you're also excited. Did you get your stem check too?
I did.
It's like, I know what I'm going to buy with my shit.
I did. Lots of Guitar Center gift cards and my bank account being stimulated.
Super stem. That's the only good thing about 21 right now is we got stimulated right off the bat.
And so, but then even further from that, so this morning, as current as today, I went on Guitar Center's website at 8 o'clock just for shits and gigs. I didn't think it was going to be in stock again, but they said it's in stock. So I ordered it again. So now, before coming here, I was on the phone with Guitar Center customer service. And apparently the guitar may or may not be in a Las Vegas Guitar Center.
Well, no.
It's Schrödinger's guitar, man.
Yeah, and so now I have to call this Vegas Guitar Center at 11 o'clock their time, which is Pacific time. So that's 3 hours different. So I think it's like 2 o'clock our time. So pretty much after here, I'm going to get right back on the phone with Guitar Center.
Might I suggest, if it doesn't work with that, go to their sister group, musiciansfriends.com. And if you go find that guitar, they'll match that price.
Yeah.
Because that's what music, because they have to match that price. So if you see it for a cheaper price, hey, look, I found the guitar on Musicians Friends for blah, blah, blah price. Can you match it? They have to. That is like what they have to do. So I would go check there before you go talking on Vegas.
Yeah.
See if you get yourself even a more cheaper Dove guitar.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even try Sam Ash, give your
No.
business
Are
to
there
someone who
any
cares.
Sam Ash anymore?
Sam Ash, I think, is what it is.
A little bit down south. That's where I got my Gibson.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember Sam Ash used to be in like Palm Beach Lakes Mall.
There was one like in Pompano by like a hockey rink I used to play at as a kid.
Yes, I remember that one. Now the only things we have around here are marathons besides Guitar Center.
Yeah, and I think even with COVID, like there was a conversation of like I know we lost Chafin is gone.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chafin, man. That
Yeah.
is like the OG of
Yeah,
music
dude.
stores.
I used to walk there when I used to live right down in the Alphabet City on K Street, and I would just walk right over to Chafin whenever I needed anything. Like they're great people too, great staff. So it's a shame for
There's
sure.
kind of like a Chafin's right off of Northwood in Dixie. It's right next to what used to be David K Space and Relish. It says a guitar on it. That's I've gotten some strings over there and some guitars over
Oh,
there.
you mean I think that's Music Man.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think they're still open. Don't quote me, but yeah, I used to go over there. But they kind of remind me of Chafin's. But we also have Congress Amp Store, which have an awesome selection of like amps that are used but are in really good condition. Guitars, it's everything consignment. It's like a thrift store for just quality music gear. So
Yeah,
I like that.
They can fix just about anything. My upright bass, fixed. My amp, fixed. My bass that just had its head snap off, it's being fixed.
It's being fixed.
Nice.
But it's good. Like, but I'm glad you're getting a new guitar. I'm probably gonna be getting the stuff I just made with doing photography, a brand new camera. But I'm also probably in the process because my friend Reggie, he's in my band. He builds a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna have him build me a 2x12. I'm gonna
nice.
like get me a cab, and we're just gonna buy speakers and do all that stuff. It's
yeah,
gonna be
dude,
fun.
that's all you need. I mean, building your own amp is a lot of fun. Brian Fallon from the band, I don't know if you know the Gaslight Anthem.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Brian Fallon, they had an album called The 59 Sound, and everyone was like, "What's the 59 Sound?" He's like, "It's an amp I built." Like, that's what it is for me. You
And
know,
it's,
so.
I used to have a custom amp back in the day when I was in this band called Dearly Beheaded. We had a warehouse off of Church Street, and it was an Avatar cab, and they're still around, and you could create anything you want. I had an orange cab. I had a Vintage 20s, Celestian 30s. It was amazing, and it got stolen by a crackhead. Like it took them 3 days, but they broke into our warehouse. They stole both my cabs, my Shockwave head unit from Crate, and Crate makes some quality. I say it like this: the Crate makes some quality like head units and amps. It just they are god awful when it comes to like soldering and all that stuff.
It
Right.
took 3 days. Like the
like,
crackhead was out, like trying to break in like a bank vault.
No,
what was going on?
This was happening. It was like they cut open the lock, but no one knew about that. They cut open the lock, and our neighbors saw that there was this guy in there just backing up his truck and putting things in. And they went the first day, they got some stuff. They went the second day, got some stuff, and they thought
Wow.
it was like they thought they were part of the band. We're just taking stuff for a show. The only thing that was left in there, I mean, our PA was stolen, our amps were stolen, was the couch and our drummer Rob's full drum set, which was brand new at the time, was the only thing that stayed. Like everything else was taken.
Probably because they're like, "Fuck that, we're not carrying this shit."
Yeah, I think what it is we showed up finally, and like if we didn't come back,
Oh, it would've been
another day,
picked
it would have been
clean.
gone. We would have been picked clean. But I gotta say, it's cool to be able to build your amp because one, it's a lot cheaper, and if you especially know how to get somebody to build it, it's like honestly at the end of the day, you're just paying for a name and not the parts with it, because you can get
Yeah,
the parts
totally.
cheaper, because you could get like the speakers for a lot cheaper and all that stuff in the circuitry, and you need to know somebody, or you need to know how to put together, and boom, you're gonna have your own sound.
Exactly.
Well, that's like I have a book that I still reference to this day. It was my dad's when he was around my age of about pretty much electronics and how to, if you need to change your pickups, on your guitar and stuff like that. And it was pretty much an encyclopedia of old school electronic. It's funny to like flip into the recording section and it's teaching you how to record on 8 tracks. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is old, but yeah,
Which is not still bad. I'm surprised people, people have to go back old school. I mean, people are getting records. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing people start recording in film and 8-track and tape again.
I definitely think there's a market for that for sure. I mean, if you look at even like one of my favorite bands, he's a independent punk band called the Homeless Gospel Choir. He still releases cassette tapes. And people love him. No Effects still has cassette tapes coming out.
I tell you what, for me personally, and something I would do is, for me, I would just buy a bunch of like really cheap flash drives and put a couple songs on each one and sell them at shows.
Yeah, well, I've seen like so like the first EP that I put out where it was just me, and they were pretty much live raw tracks. Like it wasn't tracked at all. It was live performances. I was in the studio for maybe an hour and a half, and then I had an EP, and I put it out through disc makers, and I was able to put it out on CD and put it out digitally as well, but I really wanted the CDs, and I've sold a decent amount of CDs, but I do know in my heart of hearts that most people are buying CDs more to show support than they will actually listen to it, because most, like my fiance's car doesn't have a CD player.
Yeah.
You know?
And when it comes
Her
to that,
parents' car don't have a CD player.
well, for me, when it is, I love CDs, same as I love records, and it's not necessarily I'll play it, but I just like, it's like owning a book. It's like being able to hold it. It's something.
You can hit somebody with
it's
it. It's
something tangible. You have it in your hands. And
Yeah,
you see
totally,
the artwork,
totally.
and like it has like, it's like new book smell or old book smell, new CD or record smell. It's just
Right.
something you enjoy, because sooner or later, 20 years from now, that's all going to be severely antique, and kids then will have no idea what a CD is. We are literally in our record stage right now. Like, we're the only ones that have been through records.
Honestly,
CDs.
I think what should happen is that you should make CDs and have the cases and all that stuff. Still keep up like the allure, the grandiosity, but just instead of a CD inside, just have like a QR code.
Well,
I mean, I was totally fine with that.
Well, and so that's what I guess I was getting to with disc makers is I've been in touch with their people for a little bit about just future projects and stuff, and they were like, oh, well, we have these USBs that people will buy, but they look like cassette tapes.
I like that.
It looks like a cassette tape, and instead of popping it in something, you just press like a thing, and the little USB thing pops out.
And you know what else? For me personally, I would also add on to that, like, you get like you get like the cover. You get the cover as like a poster, a legit poster, or you can also get it like as like a wallpaper for your phone or your computer. So you always have that. You gotta have artwork, man. Even if it is, most of the shit is digital, I prefer having something to look at.
Well, and that's like I don't know how much I'm allowed to really talk about the album that's coming out, but I can definitely say that the artwork is being done by my favorite tattoo artist of mine, a friend of mine named Lucy Martinez. She's pretty much occupied my left arm for the past 3 years, and I couldn't be happier with her work, so I'm super stoked to see that artwork come out.
Nice. I'm excited to hear your music. I took a listen to some of your music over the week to really hone in on what I'm going to ask questions today on this interview. I kind of dig your style, man. It's kind of different to what I listen to. I'm a metalhead.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm a classic rock metalhead, jazz.
And it's funny you bring this up because I don't know if you necessarily remember the first time that we met.
Really?
It was at Warped Tour.
Was it? Yeah.
It was at Warped Tour because you guys were playing on the local stage in Grounds.
Yep.
And
Don't remind me of that whole shit.
Sorry, but and then I had that was like the last Warped Tour, and they were doing that thing where if you donated blood, you got a backstage pass.
Yeah.
And so I was just running around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off, saying hi to all the bands and but yeah, we ran into each other, and I was like, oh, I remember you were like, oh yeah, I play Propaganda all the time. I'm like, I play Propaganda all the time.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to playing that Warped Tour, that was hella fun. Playing that show and what time we played that show, I felt like I was dying because the sun was directly in front of us.
It was hot.
We had black top flooring, and we were under this thing where it was like a plastic wrap.
Yeah.
So it was like a humid sauna. I damn near fell over. I was wanting to die after like the third song.
Yeah.
And we only played like 6 songs. But playing that show was fun. Some of the members in that band were not so fun. I'm glad I'm way behind that. And but I'll tell you this, it was fun being at Warped Tour, being backstage and hanging out with all the bands.
That's something that is
You don't ever do that.
it's on your checklist of I played Warped Tour, man. you know?
It's funny though. Some of those bands like that Warped Tour and past Warped Tours is like, it's funny. I've opened up for them or played
Right.
shows with them. It's like now they're on Warped Tour. I'm like, I want to do that more.
Yeah.
Because I see my whole goal is just to tour. I want to make lots of money, but I also want to just freaking tour.
Yeah, dude, I totally get that for sure,
What about you, Dominic? What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, as soon as the world spins again, I plan on getting back on the road, It's something it's just something that it takes it for as far as the context of the show, The show is more or less the same every night for the people attending it. Like, and that's not to say that it's getting boring or anything. Like, it's still hard work and it's still a lot of energy. But then after that, like, for them, their night is over. Yeah. We're still on tour.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's where it's like the whole experiences after that are great as well. And I think that as somebody who like writes songs very personally and very experience based, the best way to get experiences is to travel.
Yeah,
just do it.
You've been on a few tours, right? You were one early last year with Sarah, right?
Yeah, we did the beginning of 2020 because that was, you know, and we had plans to do another one, but literally as we were on that first tour, that's when COVID happened. And so
Party foul, man.
Yeah,
the biggest party fouls.
I think there were like 2 shows left on the tour, and like the end of the tour was going to be in Key West, and it was a very shaky quote unquote show. It was pretty much I occupied a space in what's called Mallory Square in Key West, and I just demanded attention and said, "This is my show."
You're such a diva.
Listen to me.
Yeah. So, but it was really special because I remember being like 15 or 16, going down to Mallory Square and playing little shows like that for just people, and like people would put. I remember I didn't like stick a case out or anything. I didn't think like that. I was 16. But people would put like dollar bills at my feet, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute." And then like it's crazy because I'll go down to Key West, and 10 years later, the same street performers are still there making a living, busting their ass and stuff. So, but pretty much, Sarah had to jump off the tour before going to Key West, and pretty much when we were in Key West was when we got the phone call like, "Hey, the country's getting like locked down. Get home." Pretty much. So.
Fun fact, I've only been to Key West once in my life.
Ah, dude.
And I've lived here all my life.
I could probably put my money down and say that it's where my dad wants to be buried. Like, I think he'd kick me from the grave if I didn't bury him there.
Bury me at that sign where it says the most southernmost point in the United States.
I'm just going to drill a hole in the middle of it and shove him down there.
No, what you should do?
Stay in it.
What you need to do is you need to get his like femur or something like that and just stake it like a little bit more south than that point.
Yeah, right?
And make that the most
hell yeah
southern point.
See, I want to go back there because it looks hella fun over there.
It is. It's a great little city. I will say, like, it is hard to get a proper show there. But that's a problem that I run into a lot in Florida with my music is I'm not a reggae band, and that's nothing against reggae bands. Like, I love reggae music, but when people hear like, "Oh, you're coming with an acoustic guitar, you're gonna play reggae songs, right?"
False.
Like, fuck no, man, I'm not.
You play that Sublime, right?
Yeah, exactly. I get that, like, and it's like that, and like there's the cliche of like Sweet Caroline, like
Sweet. Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, Brown Eyed Girl. Brown Eyed, and like, see, like, I did growing up, I liked the song Brown Eyed Girl. I fucking hate that song now. Like,
I could say that, and I will say this straight up. I hate Sublime with a passion. I'd rather get my testicles put on a cinder block and another cinder block smashed on it if I have to, so then have to listen to any more Sublime.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, right.
Hi, this is the Rockenstein Music Hour.
Hey, Dominic, you like D's?
D's what?
D's nuts! Ha, 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 ha. If you're enjoying this show, go over to YouTube and subscribe to The Bad Decision Show. And if you like only hearing our voices, go over to Spotify and give us a follow and keep up to date with everything we're doing. And don't forget to wash your nuts.
So let's finally get into this interview because we've been not on the interview that much.
Let's get knees deep.
All right. The first question I'm going to ask you today is, you've been performing since you were a kid. What got you motivated into playing music?
Well, my dad had guitars growing up, and I wasn't allowed to touch them. And I'm kind of like participatory by nature. And so if I see something cool, I really want to do it. So he told me I couldn't touch his guitars. And then for my first concert, he took me to Jeff Beck and B.B. King.
Oh, my God.
And then not only that, my mom worked for the Sun Sentinel at the time, got us backstage. I got to sit on B.B. King's bus with him
I hope you were saying bus and not his lap. It's like, oh god.
Yeah. And I got like, I just remember getting off that bus and like, yeah, I want to do this. This seems fucking cool and worthwhile. And so like, it's a funny like conversation I have with my dad to this day where he's like, you know, I don't know, you sure you really want to keep doing music? I'm like, remember you sat me on BB King's bus when I was 10? You bastard.
This is your fault.
Yeah, like exactly. You bought me an AC/DC album. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I have a funny story with Jeff Beck. About 10 years ago, I was playing with his pop punk band called Still Dumbstruck, and we only played one show at Propaganda. And after the show, we all left, but our guitarist, our friend at the time, Corey, he was my other guitarist, but he left the show and he sat down at Calero's, it was right next to Propaganda. And he saw this guy just sitting there fiddling around and all that stuff, and he looked at him and looked at him harder. It was Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck was sitting at Calero's as he just chilling and relaxing, and they ended up having like a freaking conversation for like 2.5 hours. I missed that because I was just being a social butterfly, but it's like, just knowing that he lives around here, it's cool. That's cool that we
totally.
get some. We also get like Rolling Stones. I think what's his name? Mick Jagger likes to walk the Okeechobee Park.
It's really funny that you say that about like the Jeff Beck in downtown Lake Worth. So people who don't know, Calero's was in downtown Lake Worth, next to Prop, and I lived on K Street, right by the Publix there, on K Street and 2nd, and we had a neighbor, and I used to tell Caitlin, I was like, she looks identical to this guy looks identical to Jeff Beck, and we would see him all the time. And now I'm questioning if I really saw Jeff Beck or not.
He is an interesting creature when it comes to all that stuff, like how he created a album with lyrics and all that stuff, but he just released, and like I guess he's like, here, I want you guys to interpret what this sounds like yourself.
Well, and like that's kind of also I think important to show that music is interpretive.
Yes.
And for instance, like, you know, I'll like Frank Turner is somebody that I arguably talk about too much, but when I cover a Frank Turner song, I do it my way.
Yeah.
And nobody else does it the way that I do. And that's not to say that I do it better than anybody else, but I definitely try to be as original as possible. And that's kind of like a cool idea. It's like there was a band called Pup that put out a whole chord sheet for a song and then asked their fans to send them their interpretations of what they think the song sounds like, and then released what the song actually sounds like, and it's comparatively different. And even those guys said, oh, some of our fans' versions were better than ours. You know?
See, I could see if I was to do something like that, I'd make it a contest. Like the first one to make it sound like how it was actually supposed to sound like, you get the free album, and plus, like, you come on tour with us.
Yeah,
that's how I do it. I'd be like, hey, I would have fun with it.
And we'll play your version.
Yes, because dude, you know, if you have like your dedicated fans that really know how to play the music and all that stuff, you would get some like weird ass versions of it. Like that's what I like. Like Jared Dines and Rob Scallion, they do these things on YouTube where it's like they put they show the tab for it, and it's like, I want you to play it how you play, and they show all these people doing it, and it's like, I would not think about doing that, but it's like really cool.
I think, well, and one of my favorite parts of doing a live show and at being at a live show is the participatory part of it. Like whether it be when I went and saw Pup and brought my friend Quan for his first ever punk show, and we ended up holding Stefan, the lead singer's feet as he crawled across the office. Like, that's awesome. I also like to be the person whose foot is being held every now and again.
I just love the theatrics of a show.
It is, and that's where it's you know, I almost hesitate to call it theatrics because it's almost like impulsive.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just there's something about, you know, I mean, there's so many nights of my life that I can't remember, but I can tell you about every show I've seen at Culture Room, every show I've seen at Revolution, every show I've seen at Prop. Because even you know, as inebriated as you might get at a show or something, those memories last, and they last because they're important.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to playing the shows, real quick, I like personally being unleashed. Like, I like having just a wireless system.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fun because then you don't ever see my ass on the stage. I am like all over the place. I am like,
Right.
I'll walk all over the place to play the show because I think it's just hilarious and awesome. I could play the show while in the bathroom or walking around the bar.
Yeah. I have a buddy in the Moonmen. His name's Devin, and he used to, when we would do sound checks, he would be standing out front of prop and sound checking inside of prop, which I always thought was hilarious.
I always found that hilarious. Now, you do all your acoustic stuff. Are you wireless or are you plugged in?
I'm plugged in, and right now, normally I'm running on like house DIs, whatever the house has. I am planning on upgrading to like a Fishman or a Spectrum DI.
Nice.
That's the DI box that I really want. But yeah, right now I'm plugging in, like I said, I have a Hummingbird.
Yeah.
And that has an Epiphone Sonotone. I think it's Sonotone. Epiphone something preamp. It's not the best in the world. The new guitar I'm hoping to get has an actual Fishman Sonic Core, which those are a lot better. And but yeah, I think just Fishman as far as acoustics is the way to go.
Can't beat them.
You know,
I use a Fishman preamp and pickup for my acoustic bass. They really are top notch.
You can't beat them at all. I mean,
I want to know, like, why don't you, like, get, like, a headset, like, microphone so you can literally be unleashed and walk around the whole entire place and do that?
You know, somebody sent me, when COVID started, they sent me a picture. It was like an edited picture of an NSYNC singer with the headset on inside of a hazmat suit. And he was like, just do shows like that.
Don't make me. I will.
Yeah, and, I mean, you know, I think just my dread for Ted Nugent is steering me away from it.
I hear, yeah, he does do that. I just realized, for the one I see do it a lot was In This Moment singer. She does it a lot because she's doing a lot of like hand gestures and all that stuff, but she has like a headset right there.
Right.
But
yeah, I think also something about it's almost like the conversation we were having about with like books and CDs, where having that microphone is something tangible in your hand, and it's almost you know, it is a tool for your show, but it is a prop as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's being a singer, being able to slam down that
sticking
microphone, sticking it out and just like slamming it down.
Yeah, you know,
dancing with that shit.
Now, you Ted Nugent, real quick. I gotta say, don't like the guy. I like his music.
You know,
especially his old shit.
I think I may have been unfair to his music because I don't know his music. But as far as the person I've only seen an angry
100%
guy.
douche.
Only seen an angry guy with a headset mic.
Yeah.
And like it goes back to that conversation where like immediately I'm turned off.
Yeah.
From the music just because of the persona. Which may be unfair, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
It is. Another question I want to get to is you've been playing a lot of styles as you've been talking through this episode. I read your bio. It said you, besides playing punk, you were in an industrial, and you actually took a little bit of time doing DJing. What brought you to those avenues?
Kind of just an appreciation for music as a whole. And also, like, a crippling inability to do anything long-term at that time when I was younger. So with that, I couldn't concentrate hard enough to do the band that I wanted to do, and I was 18, and I was alone, and I didn't have the right people to put together a band. And DJing, I had a DJ mentor who taught me on old school vinyl and, you know, a lot of old school drum and bass and breaks DJing. And I still have a lot of respect and a lot of love for DJs because it's not as easy as people think it is. There are people who cheat around that and make it look easier, but I had a lot of fun DJing. It's such a big scene down here that you're guaranteed to have some shitty situations. You just kind of gotta move past those and have the good memories of like I still have a lot of friends from the rave scene. I personally don't think I'll be going to any raves anytime soon. But it is something that I still have a love for electronic music.
Oh, me too.
And then switching into industrial music, that was brought on by my friends Joe and Zai, who were the band Scoros. and I was asked to join them originally as their DJ, and I did for a little bit, and then they're like, well, we're thinking about, adding live drums and guitar. Do you want to switch up to guitar? And so I did that for a little bit, and Scoro's kind of fizzled out. I know Zai's got other projects going on and stuff, and I've got my own project.
Zai is a good dude.
I remember
Zai's a great
Scoro's.
dude. Scoro's was really fun.
Did you ever play Sun Jams?
I didn't do this. Sun Jams was right after I joined. But I did do a lot of the prop shows. I did the Respect show with Suicide Commando, which was that. That was the biggest show that I played with Scores was with Suicide Commando. That was a really good one.
What for Scoro? It's a funny thing. He's our neighbor, one of the members of the band. He's literally that
Zai?
corner house. Not Zai. The one with had the face.
X.
Jason, I think his name was.
Joe.
Joe literally like his. Joe lives right over
He's
there.
on the other side of the thing in those condos. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not even in the condos. I mean, he literally was living right at that house right across the street from us to the left. That was his house.
Yeah, I used to hang out with Joe a lot because we met at I still hang out with Joe a lot. We met at the ice rink where I used to work, and he worked there as well. We were both Zamboni drivers, and we're like, oh, you make music, I make music, we're weird, let's go make music and stuff. So
that funny fact with that, and Johnny's gonna hate me. That was one of my sister's crushes.
Aww.
That was hilarious. He's so hot. I'm like, okay, that's
He
good.
is.
Talk to him.
He is.
Freaking. All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about DJing real quick, which is fun, is people always like some assholes when it comes to like music. Oh, it's not real music. It's no, all you do is press buttons. Like, no, you gotta actually understand rhythm.
You need to know music
timing,
theory to some extent. You need to know key.
Yeah, key. Like, especially if you're going off of real records, you need to know where on that record to actually spin.
You have to learn how to, for one thing, like mark vinyls so that they don't get damaged, but you can still see the points that you need.
Yeah, like that is hard.
There's a lot of hard work, and like that's like, I mean, nowadays it is a lot more computerized and stuff.
But it still takes rhythm and
and that's fine for it to be computerized. I think that being scared of the technology coming over, that time is gone. We have to embrace it. Mm-hmm. But there still is a craft to it, and like as there are people who like the big thing I remember in the DJ scene was people talking about people screen cheating and matching up their BPMs on the thing, and I can see the argument for it, but at the same time, somebody is using the tools given to them to give the best show that they can. Yeah, I don't understand. It's not the same, but almost similar to the backing track argument. I personally will never use backing tracks. That's not the type of show I like to put on.
Yeah, I gotta say, from working Rock the Mic Radio and all that stuff, most of the rappers had backing tracks and let the backing track do most of the work,
most of the vocals and stuff like that too, and that's where, but there's also like the argument with like people like, for instance, like with Katy Perry. I hate her music. I think that she's probably a very nice person, but I fucking hate her music. But there's 40 million other people who disagree with me, and so who cares what I think? As long as if there's a demographic that gives a shit, it doesn't really matter how you put the show on, as long as you can put on a good show. I personally would like to have it more authentic.
Yeah, I think when it comes to backing tracks, I think it's helpful for when it comes to a singer, at least being able to focus on where their note has to be when they sing. Yeah. And it's good having that as a background. I've seen bands really do really well with it, and I've seen bands do not really well with it and all that stuff.
I saw Flyleaf get booed off stage in Family Values tour in Atlanta with my cousin Dylan. I'll never forget it. I was probably 12 years old. Family Values tour. It's Korn, Evanescence, Trivium, Atreyu, and then Flyleaf was like opening for Evanescence, and they got booed off stage because they got caught using backing tracks.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I don't hate them. I think
I love Flyleaf.
The core band needs to be solid, and that can't be backing tracks. But like if you have like strings in a song or like
if you have
weird
some
techno
violin
sounds,
and you don't have a violin player, it only makes sense.
Just do that.
Yeah, like I've seen a band like Rings of Saturn. They're like a very technical core, like death metal, deathcore, death band, and they have 3 guitars on a track, but it'd be only 2 guitars, and they'll have like one doing like a super high lead, and the other 2 are just like kind of like going piggybacking off that.
Right.
And it sounds really, really cool, but like, like it has to match the music. Like a band that kind of sounds a whole lot different from CD to live, personally, that I've seen is System of a Down. They were very thin when I saw them live. Like, you hear you'll hear like piano, mandolin, and all this stuff, and then like in there, they're playing their music live, and it's just the guitars, and their like clean was just like kind of flat.
Right.
And there's like, when I saw them, they totally unimpressed me. I'm like, wow. I left like halfway through their show. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah. I definitely think that like putting anything on a record that you can't replicate live in some aspect, and that's where like you're saying, if you have a string arrangement on a song, but you don't have a fucking quartet behind your band, yeah, totally throw that in on a pad. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. The band just needs to be solid.
Throwing in the guitar solo, though, on a pad, that's a big red flag.
But what I used to see when I was working at Coral Sky Amphitheater is like, instead of having like on a backing track, they would have musicians on the side of the stage that you couldn't see playing the actual other parts that weren't part of the band.
Yeah.
Because they'd have like they just have live members on the side just playing what you couldn't see.
I actually like that more.
Better than the backing track.
Yeah,
They should come out and take a bow at the end of the show, though.
Exactly. They need to be like the orchestra pit. They need to be like in front of the stage down there, and he's a conductor. Like,
I feel like that would be a lot better than having them on the side.
That's okay. Like, to me, that, like you're saying, that's fine. Like, but bring those people out. You don't need to hide them from us. Like,
we're not
show us how you're making the show happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna break our heart that there's more than one person in the band, Billy Joel.
Right.
It's okay.
Hey, the voice of God here with Dominic and P. Wizzle. If you're enjoying this show, please follow us on Spotify and go over to our YouTube channel, The Bad Decision Show, and subscribe to us. We post regularly every Monday, Saturday, Friday, and Wednesday.
Those are not in order.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You could just see his brain just freeze.
You get the point. Go subscribe and follow us. Man.
All right, so Dominic, I want to know, what's the appeal about going up there solo with your acoustic guitar compared to just being in a regular band? What do you like about it?
Well, there is a lot of self-control that I get to have. For instance, I like to play as many shows as possible, as many places as possible, and sometimes with a band that's a little complicated. I am looking forward to, in the future, doing full band shows and hopefully a full band tour, but when it comes down to just the brass tacks of a DIY tour, it is cheaper to do the solo tours, and
you get all the money yourself.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, this is something that I would like to do for a career, for a living. And the first tour that I didn't come home with any money, and the second tour I did. So there's progress there, and hopefully I can build that to a point where I can bring a full tour and a full crew, and do the big shows that I know that we can do.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that answer. Now I gotta ask you this: what do you think is a cliche that is true for a guitarist?
That we're gearheads.
True. I am not a gearhead.
And that's where there's different levels of gearheads. For instance, I can tell you about all the parts on my Hummingbird, but I can't really tell you what they're supposed to do. I can tell you what they do, but I don't tell you what they're supposed to do.
For me, it's basically, I like the guitar. Don't ask me what type of wood, because I tried to apply for the Guitar Center, Guitar Center, and there's a test, and some of the stuff is like knowing the wood and all this stuff. I'm like, I have no idea about that. To me, it's like, it sounds good. Right. I like it. It make guitar sound good.
Well, and see, that's where, so for me, for instance, one thing I can tell you about the Hummingbird and the Hopeful Dove that I'll be getting soon is they have spruce tops. and the spruce top is meant to age over time and almost give the guitar more of a low warmth through the years. And like that's, I'm a big book nerd, and so I can only read things I'm interested in. So a lot of it is guitar books and music books. And
another thing I gotta say is like another cliche for guitarists that we automatically know all the guitar songs.
Right. Yeah. Or yeah. It's kind of and that's something that parallels back to when I would DJ. When someone would come up and be like, "Do you have this song?" And it'd be like, "Lady, I've planned this set for 2 months to play this 90-minute set. I have specific songs. No, I'm sorry, I can't play. Drop It Like It's Hot. Like,
yeah, like, dude,
I'm sorry.
You want a DJ? Get up here.
Right. And that's where the more aggressive form of artist lashing out against people like that is the great comeback of I'm not a fucking jukebox.
Yeah, like I am not a jukebox. It comes like it's just weird how they automatically think that we, first off, know all the music and know all the music you want to listen to.
Right. We know the songs you want to hear.
Yeah, like
that we're here to play for you. And for some bands, especially like and this isn't to put down any of the local bands, but when you do a 3-hour set,
mm-hmm.
Yes, it is expected that you're gonna play some songs that people know, and that like there's people who do that great. Like Sierra Lane is one of the best musicians that I've heard in a very long time. The fact of the matter is, during her sex, she does have to play some songs that, do I think that she loves playing them every night? Probably not.
Probably not.
And for me, that's a big hurdle for me. I understand some people might come to a show and want to hear Brown Eyed Girl. I'm not the person to come to see if that's what you want to hear.
I just like how some of them would walk up to me and suggest a song, and I'm like, honey, look at me. Looking at me, what scream says that I actually play that?
Right.
That music. Like, I get like these weird, like, oh, do you know how to play like...
songs you never heard of.
Yeah, like, I have no idea what that is.
Right.
Like some bluegrass. Like, dude... You've been seeing me play guitar. You've been seeing the stuff I've been doing. What makes you think I could do that?
Right. And, like, that's, like, one of my things is I always try and be, like, I was raised to be, polite all the time. And I try and be polite. And so, like, some people will come up and throw a name at me, and I'll be like, oh, who is that by? And they're like, no, that's the band. I'm like, well, I don't know them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
that blank stare gives it away. Like, huh?
Right. Yeah. And so,
tell you what, if you want me to play that song, give me a 50 in 20 minutes, okay?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
15, 20 minutes, and I'll get it done. Now, I want to ask you this: Serenity. Where do you find it? Where do you find your Serenity, my man?
Probably. It's a cheesy answer, but probably on the road. I know, choking on the cheese. I don't know. Something about it is it's like a pirate ship on wheels, and pretty much you roll through town to town, and your only objective is to give the best show that you can. And if you fuck up, you have tomorrow night to do better.
Yeah.
And that's something that really interests me, and I love history, and I love traveling to places I haven't been, and so a touring musician is literally the dream for me. So. To be able to, once I got the realization that you can do it on your own, and you can do it yourself by just being tenacious enough.
What's that old adage? If there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Just don't give up. If you want to do it, just don't give up.
Dude, I mean, I've sent thousands of emails and gotten 10 replies. Like, that's just how it goes sometimes. But those 10 replies are the most important replies that I've gotten. So... doing those types of tours and traveling, that's definitely where I find my serenity.
Now, do you want to keep your music stripped back to like just you and your guitar, like a boy in his guitar?
No, there were always ambitions of having the full band. Thankfully now I've signed to Innerstate Records. We have my album coming out this coming year. It's going to be a full band album, and I will say the album is played by session players. It's not played by the actual members of what I hope to be my band. But it does give us a good template of somewhere to grow so that the next album can be a full band contribution. Mm-hmm. It's something that definitely I want to do full band shows. it's hard to find a full band that's willing
Dedicated.
to go on the road the way that I want to. You know, I count every show I've played. I've played 206 shows, and it's a sense of pride for me. And I like to be hardworking, and I like to have a show every night. And some people can't do it because of their relationships or their kids, or so it is tough. But full band shows will be coming in this year.
That's good.
Tell us about the album. What's it about?
Yeah, well, the album consists of a couple songs from the Chubby EP, which was just me. It was those live raw tracks. And then a handful of new songs as well, and they're all full band arrangements. Like I said, I signed to Innerstate, which is also the label of our good friend Andy Styron, so I'm happy to be a label mate with her. And she also will be, I don't think I've said anything publicly about this, but she will be on a song. We have a song together.
Oh, that's good.
So that's going to be fun. And it's just it's going to be a 9-song album. It's half songs that were acoustic, half songs that are new, and it's kind of just really good to put some of these songs to rest, seeing their full potential. Like Chubby,
Yeah.
I've played Chubby for 3 years as an acoustic song, and I could hear the arrangement in my head. Some people got it and some people didn't, and that's okay. But I think people are really gonna like the new arrangement.
When it comes out and people actually get a chance to listen to it and enjoy it, what do you want them to feel? What's the message behind all this?
That you're not alone in not knowing what you're doing. It's okay to be totally lost and searching, because I feel like the most important part of life is the search. It's not what you find. So enjoy the search and live, as there's a saying, live the dash.
Yeah.
Because
Live in between the dash.
when
yeah.
you die, like you got 2 dates next to your name, live that little dash instead.
Like you said, it's like it's okay not to be okay. It's okay
Yeah,
to
totally.
fail. It's okay to wonder. It just respect. I always say respect failure.
Right. Yeah,
Respect
totally.
it.
And that's where, to compare the 2 tours that I've done, the first tour financially was a disaster. Lost a lot of money. But the memories and the people that I met on that tour were 100% worth it. And then it also taught me the lessons for the second tour to make it profitable.
Yeah.
And now that tour taught me how to make it even more profitable.
Okay, another real quick question then. Give us a little lesson. How do we make a tour profitable? Dominic's tour guide.
Email the right people and don't accept the first show that you get.
All right.
Email if you're going into a show. All right, so the way that we would book a tour is we would pick our in destination, and we would see the route that we would go through and see what little 30-minute trips we could take off that route. Then we get to emailing pretty much every live venue or bar in that area, and we'll get some back like, hey, yeah, we'll pay you $50 to come. Well, that's not going to do it for the tour, and so we're going to decline that. And you might have to even change the city. You might have to move 15 miles north or something like that. But the venues are there, and the community of artists is there. And the biggest thing is to get local support. Get a good local support act. Do a show swap. Like, there's plenty of people that we were on tour with that when they come down here, we're putting a show together for them. That's just the way to build an actual community where you can create, there's a reason they call it a touring circuit, is because you just go round and round. And my other piece of advice for touring is leave the places that you went the way you left them. The whole rolling through and leaving a whole disaster in your wake, that's bullshit. That's rock star bullshit. Because if you leave it nice and people like you, you can come back.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things. I mean, I got a text on New Year's Day from a dude who put together a show for me and Sarah, pretty much just telling me, Happy New Year. We, when the world starts turning again, we want you back up in here in Orlando. Stuff like that. So just work hard and be don't be a douche.
Who knew that if you're respectful, people would actually like you?
Right? I
Yeah,
know.
but when it
If
comes to
only someone told us.
yeah, my good friend Mick Rude from Spread the Dub, he always told me with this when it comes to venues, venues will always try to pay you the lowest they can. If they could pay you free, they would.
Oh yeah.
But, like, you have to play hardball with him, and because they got the money. Trust me.
And you'll have to chase down. I prefer to go through promoters as opposed to venues I don't know. Like, for instance, when I'm home, like, I know the people who own propaganda, so, like, I'll go through them instead of a promoter. But on the road, I'll go through a promoter, and there are definitely nights where you've got to track that guy down.
Oh yeah, they play Where's Waldo?
Yeah, and there's Green Jello. You look at Green Jello, chase down that dude in Toronto.
Oh, that was priceless. That
You
video.
know? Little pig, let me in. Like,
oh, that guy thought he was gonna get murked.
He fucking almost did. I
Yeah.
mean, and homie had a great point. Like, dude, I flew here, left my child and my family, and you're gonna run off with our money. So there are things like that. Luckily, we didn't have to deal with too many of those, and I haven't had to deal with too many of those. But who knows? I'm sure. I at this point, I'm hoping to get those types of problems again.
Yeah. Now, take us through the writing process for Broken Finger, and also recording it through Whiskey Brother Records, and actually filming the video. How was that like? And what actually brought you into writing that song Broken Finger? Was it literally about a broken finger?
Yeah, totally. This was right before the tour I did in 2018. I was working at a metal shop, and they have this machine. It's essentially a hole punch for steel. This thing can punch holes in 3 inches of steel.
Ah, so it can hole punch you.
Yeah, and so I was punching these holes. This was my 3rd day on the job, and I made a mistake, and my hand somehow got caught in the machine, and we smacked the emergency button, and I didn't lose the finger, thankfully. But it was crushed from first knuckle to middle knuckle. It was as flat as paper.
But it's me and my guitar and my broken finger. Me and my guitar and my broken finger.
Whoa.
It was bad. It was really bad, but this goes back to how I count my shows. When this happened, it happened the night before show number 90. And we had already scheduled show number 100. And so not only did show number 100 have to happen, but all the shows before it had to happen as well. And so there was no question, there was no like debate, like the shows had to happen. And so that meant, like, I got an x-ray, they said it didn't need surgery, that I could just pretty much splint it for like a month or 2, and it'd be okay. And so pretty much I took some hockey tape, wrapped it around my splint, and I played the extra 10 shows and played a 100 show with a broken finger.
How was that?
It was good. Looking back now, considering that I've played, 106 more, I think that, it definitely could have been better. I could have done better, but I mean, I'm proud of the show that I put on with a broken finger for sure.
Did you use that finger, or did you have to alter the way you played your chords?
I didn't have to alter the way I played. It was on my right hand, so it was on my picking hand.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but it did sometimes, because I had to wear the sling, and sometimes it always sounded like I was playing slide guitar, but putting the slide on the wrong part of the guitar.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird because eventually I got used to it.
Yeah.
And then I had to take it back off.
Oh, and then you got
and
oh,
now
shit.
like I still kind of have like a floating finger every now and again when I play and stuff.
What's weird? Like, I'm always scared with my fingers and all that stuff when it comes to playing guitars. Like, I don't like dealing with things that can mess around with my fingers at all, period.
Dude, I'm getting married, and I told my fiance to not buy me a metal ring.
Yeah.
I want a silicone ring because
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught in something and rip my
Yeah.
finger off.
Like I'm totally fine just replacing it.
It's a true fear of mine. Like I think about that a lot.
Like we could totally buy it. Like we could have a metal ring for the ceremony,
Right.
But
yeah.
like silicone.
I'll
rest of
wear
the
it
time.
around my neck.
Yeah.
Like
you will have the real one right here, but the silicone on your finger.
exactly. But yeah, the video came out great, and that was also my first foray into bringing my songs to full band arrangements. And the guys at Whiskey Brother Records were so great, not only in the filming but in the production of the song.
Yeah.
It was great. We got to
Very folky.
Yeah. It really came out definitely the way that I had always imagined it, and it was great to have my friends in the video, Sarah, Mitchie, Joe, and get a little dirty with some eggs and cake.
Whose idea was that?
That was totally mine.
That was his, believe
Totally
it or
mine.
not.
I really wanted to do it, and Mitch said it best. He's like, "What is the point of this?" And I said,
Why not?
"What's it matter? Like, don't you want to throw eggs at me?"
Yeah. Like,
What's the point of that White Stripes music video where like every beat is like a new drum set?
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
cool.
yeah, I feel like that had to be time consuming.
Definitely, but oh man, I think your song "Broken Finger," the video and all, was probably the most perfect way that 4K Fridays could have ended.
Yeah,
because
it was the season finale.
it was
that's
the
right.
season finale. We'll be back
Yeah, I want to know.
sometime, but,
When are we coming back? I am waiting for season 2, sir.
sometime hopefully soon. But that was like, we got the music. We've always had the music, getting the artist view and putting it to real life. But this was like the first time, or it's like the video was like tailor made. This was like a real collaborative effort between us and the artists and what they envisioned.
Yeah, totally. And that's where it was. It was just so easy. It felt natural. It felt kind of like. It felt like a birthday party almost, where
That's the best part.
And that's where it was really fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more.
Hell, I think
more
the
videos.
reason why people have like music videos in like nightclubs and stuff is just because like they wanna be in a nightclub and they wanonna party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally,
100%.
and that's where I with the video I'd rather have my friends throw food at me.
Well,
It's what really matters.
tell us, when do you plan to release this album? Sometime this year?
It will be this year. I don't have a concrete date. I can say that it's about 60% done.
That's good.
Definitely on the other side of the 50%. There's a few little re-recordings that have to happen, but other than that, I'm really happy with how it's sounding. I've got a great producer, and the label's been really good to me so far.
And where will we find all this once it's released?
Once it's released, it'll be everywhere. It'll be on Spotify, iTunes, Reverb Nation, Bandcamp.
That's good. And
Tidal?
That's I've seen you've been posting about Tidal.
I've
What do you
been
think?
enjoying Tidal a lot. I thought I really wouldn't be able to tell the difference, even though I'm a quote-unquote audiophile, just because I record music. But like, I think the higher bit rate, which is what Tidal provides, really does make a difference. It opens up the song
I'm gonna
to
look
have
into
more
that.
details and feel more live to me.
Yeah.
They have a great program, and they even have another version, because I'm on the free trial right now, because
Right.
I want to dip my toes before anything.
he just likes having free.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Hey, who could blame him?
Free
But-
music.
But yeah, like, so it'll be everywhere digitally. I really, and this is something I know, and I might even get in trouble for saying it, but I know I'm gonna have a fight with the label about this. Like, I don't want CDs. Well, and I don't think they would get me CDs. I want vinyl.
You want to?
I want to
you
release
can
on
do it.
vinyl. I want,
Why
and
not?
even if we do limited releases, that's really
You
what
can
I
find a
want.
presser.
So,
Yeah.
so
They might have you.
to my A&R guy, I want fucking vinyl.
I think it's like, all right, you want vinyl? That's on you.
Yeah, I know.
I think I know a few people that
Like,
can do vinyl.
I
so
love
I'll
vinyl.
let
I
you know.
love the sound of
You know,
vinyl.
the Killbillies just did a live album, and they're looking to release it. And I told Ben, I was like, dude, release it on vinyl. I would love a Killbillies vinyl. That'd be so cool.
I love live music. Like, I love when live music is recorded perfectly and captures the moment. Oh, it's so good. So good. Where can we find you on social? What is your social networks?
I'm on Facebook. It's Dominic DeLaney Music. Instagram is just Dominic DeLaney. Twitter is a toss-up. It's Delaney Dominic.
Oh.
Underscore?
No underscore.
Just backwards.
But somebody else, and it very well may have been like an earlier teenage me got Dominic Delaney.
You just don't remember.
I just don't remember it. But, and then, yeah, Reverb Nation, I'm back on there. I hadn't used that thing for years, but that's something that the label likes to use. And then, yeah, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff.
That's good.
Excellent. Well, you've been a wonderful, wonderful guest.
Oh, you guys have been wonderful hosts.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like having just a true conversation. Those interviews just go by super fast.
Yeah, totally. Well, I hope to be back, and next time I'll bring gifts, maybe whiskey or candies.
We'll just demand you to play.
Whatever, yeah.
Gold.
We'll just demand you to play a song live for us.
Yeah, dude, I'm absolutely down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
All right, this concludes the Rockenstein Music Hour or show. It was whatever. But again, everybody check out Dominic DeLaney's music. Go show him love. Go follow him on all his social networks. And I'll be back next week with my boy, Sam Kiyoki. Till then, have a wonderful day.
Bye.
But wait, there's more.
Prevent forest fires.
Autobots.
Yes.
I'm keeping that.
Good. Hey, Pickle Rick. Hey, fuck you, Jerry. Fuck you. I'm Pickle Rick.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, I used to be able to fuck around with voices and shit like that.
My buddy Mitch can do a great Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog right here. Or I'm more of like Rubber Ducky. You're the one. Rubber Ducky.
That's fucking good.
You're the only one. Or I'd be like, hi, I'm Elmo. See, I don't know. I've always wanted to be like a voice actor. You know, like I could kind of do like the Peter laugh.
I can do the SpongeBob laugh.
Oh, you can do?
Let's see. I gotta like access my vocal cord for it.
La 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 la. No. But it's like we do that. I used to, when I was a waiter over at Olive Garden, I'd be like, I'd have kids and I'd be like, Kermit the Frog here. What can you like from Olive Garden? Would you like the penne pasta or would you like the soup and salad?
That's so good.
Or I'd be like, oh, my name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be your server today. What do you want? Do you want the soup salad? Come over here. Get to the chopper now. Yeah. And it'd be like all that.
Love it.
And then the last thing is like, I could kind of do Cleveland Browns like no. I'm like, no. And boom goes the dynamite.
You know, I liked the Cleveland show.
It was.
I liked it. Rallo was my favorite character.
Rallo, my God. Yeah, I like
This
the
is
show.
such riveting content.
Yeah, we've gotten so far off base, but hey, the Cleveland show is a great show. Don't worry, Seth MacFarlane, it's okay.
ADHD is real, guys. So let's finally get into this interview because we've been not on the interview.